Hello viewers, good morning, good evening, good day. Depending on the time you're catching this broadcast, it's your boy Pedro again, and it's been quite some time since my last broadcast. I really apologize for being out for a while now. I think exactly 4 weeks today since my last broadcast. I said I won't take this long to make frequent broadcasts again, but unfortunately I've not been able to keep up with or live up to my promises. So I really apologize for that once again. As usual, I'm going to be giving you unbiased, unfiltered, and undiluted analysis from what's happening in the market rather. And last time I spoke was early March, and I think everything played out exactly as we envisaged, all to the grace of God. Contrary to what the majority of the market thought or were thinking at the time, that the market was going to head further down south, and the ridiculous targets were called for at that point in time. And the market, as usual, did the reverse, and you can see our trend lines, and all our trend lines are very well being respected. The market had been in a consolidatory state for Bitcoin for quite some time, and it's broken out of this consolidation, but the momentum is still very low. And that's because, like I said before, the DXY is still not weak yet. It's in a consolidatory state. I'll be showing you that in a second. DXY is in a consolidatory state. In just a second, you'll be seeing that for yourself. The DXY has claimed to show signs of weakness, but unfortunately that has not been the case. You can see, as at the last time of our broadcast, we were in we seem to be in a bullish trend. It was a bullish momentum from the DXY, and ever since that period till now, the DXY has been in this consolidatory has formed this consolidatory pattern. Hence, the low momentum from Bitcoin bulls as well. So this is what Bitcoin needs to do. Bitcoin needs to maintain staying above this trend line for it to be bullish. But the moment it breaks back below, closes back at least on a daily basis below this trend line, then we are back into this consolidation. So, but for now, bulls seem to be in control, although by a very slow momentum. So at this moment in time, here's what Bitcoin needs to do. This is what needs to happen for Bitcoin bulls to gain momentum. The DXY has been bullish ever since around May of 2021. That's almost 12 months ago. And we've been in this ascending channel. We've broken out of it, and we consolidated for a while. We broke back into it, and we broke back above it again. So we're consolidating. So ever since, at least from the daily time frame perspective, the DXY has failed to form a lower low. That is what it needs to confirm any bearish any bearish trend reversal, any trend reversal, for this reversal, this uptrend reversal to happen, we need to see formation of at least a lower low, to complement whatever lower high formations that may be forming. So at the moment we're beginning to have lower low, lower highs of some sort, but you can see that these are not convincing lower highs. We're basically just in a consolidatory state. If I bring back this, you can clearly see that we seem to have formed the lower low on March 14th, a couple of weeks back, but you can see that we're barely just in a consolidatory state. We headed for that downside. So this is where DXY had to make a decision. The decision had to be made at this point. It had to, on getting to this point, form a new lower low, and if that was to be the case, then we should be seeing the start of a downtrend for DXY, hopefully. But that wasn't to be the case, as the DXY bounced from this point, gain strength, gain momentum, because this is a critical. You can see how critical this point has been over the past couple of weeks, or the past couple of or the past months or so. The DXY failed to close below this point. It tested it multiple times. You can see here, 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 and here. We've had like four bounces or retests of this line, of this support over the past 1 month, but the DXY has failed to close below this point. And if this is to be the case, then if this remains to be the case, then the DXY is still in a bullish momentum, consolidating for now, but this uptrend is still intact until we start to see reversal signs like the formation of lower highs and lower lows, or maybe a head and shoulder, validation of a head and shoulders pattern. We had the head and shoulders pattern back here early this year, a potential head and shoulders rather, but it failed to close. Here was the neckline. It failed to close below the neckline. Tested it, but it failed to close below it. And hence this head and shoulders pattern was never validated, and there was no formation of a lower low, at least from a daily time frame perspective. Hence we broke out this from, and as a result of that, we broke out of this consolidation to the upside, and we formed a proper higher high, which was a continuation of an uptrend for the DXY. And if this is to be the case, the Bitcoin would keep on being in either a downtrend or a consolidatory state. The Bitcoin needs to see DXY weaken for it to gain a serious momentum. And I think I discussed in my last broadcast why the success or failure of Bitcoin, in quotes, depends is highly dependent on the performance of the DXY. The DXY, as you already know, and like I said in my last broadcast, is the world reserve currency. Virtually everything around the world revolves to a very large extent around the DXY performance. That is the US dollar index. DXY, for those of you who don't know what DXY is actually the US dollar index. As you already know, we are talking about the United States dollar index. It is very, very strong, and it is proven once again to be pivotal to the success of Bitcoin bulls. So Bitcoin needs to see a close, at least on a daily basis, followed by progressively followed by weekly basis, below this point, which is coming at around 97.691 thereabouts, for we to see a new lower low and maybe the start of a downtrend for DXY, and that should give strength to Bitcoin bulls. So for now, the bulls seem to be in control, but with a very, very little, it's slow momentum. and if DXY keeps on strengthening, we may continue in this consolidatory state. At least the good news for Bitcoin for now is that despite all the enormous strength that seem to been displayed, by DXY, the Bitcoin seems to be responding in a very, very good way. Seems to be it seems not to be affected by the enormous strength being displayed by the DXY. So that is it for Bitcoin, and this translates to the entirety of the cryptocurrency market. So I'm going to be jumping straight to other currency pairs. Euro USD, GBP USD, the two major pairs. So GBP USD seem to have gained strength. For a couple of days or weeks in March, but because the DXY has refused to back down, you can see that this consolidatory state has also had a serious effect on GBP USD as well. As you can see, GBP USD is failing to even close above this trend line, because the DXY seems not to be backing down for now. So the same thing has to happen if the GBP USD has to gain strength over the next couple of weeks or days, progressively and consistently. Then the DXY has to start reversing this trend. It has to reverse from an uptrend to a downtrend via the formation of a lower low, at least from a daily time frame perspective, just like I said before. Head and shoulder, validation of a head and shoulders pattern, or any other reversal pattern. So it needs to break out of this consolidation, and if for other pairs to gain strength, then it has to be to the downside. And if it does break down to the downside, that would coincidentally and be in confluence with the formation of a new lower low. So that would gain strength, that would translate to strength for GBP USD and other USD pairs like the Euro USD as well. You can see the Euro USD is also struggling seriously to gain. You can see it's also in a very basically not moving anywhere. It's just been in a consolidatory state for the past 1 month. So that has all been down to the strength of the US dollar. So if you never ever underestimate the strength of the dollar. That's one thing I've learned in this industry. It doesn't matter the financial market or trading, virtually everything hinges on the performance of the US dollar. So know this and know this. This is not financial advice though, and I'll be showing you also what's happening on the Euro GBP pair. Just a second, let me zoom this out. I'll zoom this in so you can take a look. So GBP, Euro GBP seem to be like for like. They seem to be siblings that tend to behave the same way, but pairing them against each other, we need to see how they are behaving against each other. And as it stands now, we are looking at a potential inverse head and shoulders pattern on the on the Euro GBP pair. At least from the daily perspective, we seem to have broken the neckline. The neckline is coming at about seems to have broken the neckline, and we kind of seen a retracement and neckline is coming at around this point. This seems to be like the neckline. Okay, this seems to be like the neckline. Here's the neckline coming at around 0.84642. We closed the day above the neckline, and we've seen a retest back to that. We are currently below the neckline, but from all indications we may likely head further up. The euro seems to be strong, and once the battle is around the neckline as it stands now, and if euro ends up winning this battle at the end of the day, ends up winning this battle of this neckline, then we are, that would be a validation of this head and shoulders pattern. Then we should have a major target of upward. Can't estimate that for now, but here is not financial advice, but this is a proper reversal pattern for the Euro GBP, which has been under enormous pressure for quite some time now. So this, if you take a look at the bigger time frames, you see that for the past 6 years, dating back to July 2016, where the Euro GBP has not closed below this level, this horizontal level, and this has once again proven to be the case. So we're likely to see a bounce, which could take a bounce to the upside. We're sitting at a critical support, and the market has which has held successfully on all big time frame levels, all big time frames. So we are likely seeing a potential move to the upside, and especially with this reversal pattern, an inverse head and shoulders, to also confirm our bullish bias for this pair. So basically that is okay. I would also be taking a look at other currency pairs. Okay, maybe we're taking a look at gold, USDCAD, USDCHF, USDCHF is currently doing well. The CHF Swiss francs currently doing very well, outperforming the US dollar as it stands now, irrespective of the DXY strength. If there's one currency that acts bullish, tends to bully the US dollar very well, is the CHF, and you can see here that we've been in this consolidatory state since last year, and we had a false break mid last month, and above this consolidation, and we seem to be headed further. We're back into the consolidation. That is to tell you enormous strength that the CHF is showing at the moment. So USDCAD also doing so well. Another currency pair that does so well against the dollar. You can see that we've been trading above this trend line for quite some time, since May of last year, which is almost a year as well. So we've never closed below this neckline until this past week, this past couple of weeks, and last week showed a retest as resistance to this level, and we failed to close back above it. So we are likely to maybe head further down south for the USD Canadian dollar. So that's another currency pair that tends to bully the US dollar very well. US dollar and Canadian dollar, and then the Swiss franc tend to ignore the enormous strength that is being showed by the US dollar at any point in time. So that would be a wrap up of the major currency pairs, and summary of what has been happening in the financial market, crypto, and the forex market. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you got value from this. I want to, if you did, then I would like you to smash that subscribe button, share, like, and always remember that, as usual, this is not financial advice. Whatever I'm putting out here is strictly for educational purpose and not to be treated as financial advice. Always remember that financial markets trading is a risky affair, so always endeavor to carry out your own research before entering any trade. Do have a lovely trading week ahead. Bye bye.